The Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. They clean up nicely. It's the Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. The Drew and Fuse Show. Yeah, they clean up nicely. Yeah.
Hey. Hello. Dude, you got a new sign. Look at that. That office looking sick.
I'm trying here, between recording podcasts and DJing and 9 bazillion other things. I painted a wall and I got a sign. I'm feeling accomplished.
Can you add to your resume that you're a home decorator now?
Yeah, I'm really into home decor. If anybody is looking for a painter, hit me up. I got, real good rates. It's called if I fuck up your place, you still have to pay me and get somebody else to do it.
Is your Pinterest popping? You got a bunch of, different ideas on how
my Pinterest board is crazy, dude. It is crazy. It is so lit. So I got this nice little neon back here from Amazon, and you can't really read what it says because they sent me the remote for the dimmer, and it's got a 3-volt battery. And if you don't know what the fuck a 3-volt battery is, it's one of those little circle ones, except for it didn't come with one. So now I got to order one of those, and I can't turn this thing down because I don't have the remote. So it's just super blown out right now in the background. So if you guys are listening, it looks like Eat at Joe's signs on behind me,
Actually, I have a little pro tip that's for the wedding DJs out there. If you see florists or planners or whoever setting up the candles, the fake candles with the little light on it, they add in new batteries that is that size for all of them. So I just go and steal all of them. I put them in my bag because they're going to throw them away, and they're great for remotes and just all kinds of stuff. So yeah, I steal all of them. They're awesome.
Speaking of that, I'm going to steal a bunch when I come to your house on let's see, in a couple weeks. So now that I know you got them, and for you guys listening, I'm going to be out in Drew's area August 14th through 19th. We got a couple things going on out there. One being that Wednesday night, which is, let me look, see, I didn't write it down, and now I'm looking. It is the 17th. The 17th, Drew is playing at Bungalow, and we're gonna do like a little meetup there. So feel free, anybody in the area that wants to come kick it and meet and talk and maybe have a drink or 10. One of those things. Yeah, no, 10. Whew. It's gonna be one of those weeks, huh? But
we got that. I got hangover patches for all of us. Look at, in fact, I've been wearing mine because you can see that square.
Do you just never take it off?
No, I'm albino, so I went into the sun one time and it's now permanently scarred to me. No, but
which Bungalow location, Drew?
Huntington Beach Bungalow, Wednesday night starts at 8:30, and we'll both be there. And also Thursday night, we're playing at American Junkie in San Diego.
That's right.
So all the San Diego people come out as well. It's gonna be a lot of fun. We have another meetup that we're just gonna be spreading out here shortly. So make sure to follow all of our social media so that you know where to find us that week.
Yeah, we're gonna be posting a couple things here soon that we haven't mentioned, so just make sure you're following and you'll see kind of what's going on. But definitely you want to come out to that night at Bungalow. If you haven't been to a Bungalow, they're pretty cool spots. The format's kind of all over the place. Drew will get to be Drew and play all of his shit, so I'm excited to come hang for that one and hopefully meet a bunch of guys that I've talked to but never really met in person. Also, real quick before we jump into this episode even further with our guest today, we want to mention that we still have the YOLO line, and that phone number is 562-246-YOLO. Make sure you guys give us a call if you have any questions, if you want to leave us a drunk dial or anything like that. Hit that call line, and we'll play it on air. And yeah, also we have a DMS promo code for you that gets you 30% off your first month at DMS. It's promo code Drew and Fuse Show. Drew and Fuse show. That'll get you 30% off your first month at DMS. And then also, we have an affiliate link for the Photo Booth Supply Company. If you're in the market for a photo booth, make sure you check that out.
Also, want to mention Club Cannon. Shout out to Club Cannon. I have a dual 2 guns going out this weekend. I'm going to make sure to be filming that. So watch my stories and see how you can turn your party more lit than it's ever been.
Ooh, lit party. My favorite kind of party.
We are not sponsored by Liquid Death.
Oh, yeah. Not sponsored. There you go. There you have it. Still not sponsored by Liquid Death, even though everybody drinks Liquid Death because of this show. Ain't that some shit?
It is.
They act like it's because they have like this crazy global brand, but we all know it's really the show.
Yeah, I'm sure they're doing way better without us. So, but that being said, I want to thank the Caps Punks out there for tagging us. Holy shit! I do think we're making a point here that we could absolutely be global ambassadors.
Yum. So tasty. So we're going to jump into it. Today's guest is a great one. We chat with him all the time, kind of behind the scenes. He's been a DJ for a long time, and he's the director of operations for Premier Entertainment Company. He's the official resident DJ at the Jonny Cash Museum and Saloon in Nashville. He's been a syndicated radio host across 22 markets and 41 stations, as well as programmer and operations manager. He's also been a television news reporter and as well as a published book author. He's also one of the founders of Crate Hackers. Please help us welcome Aaron Traylor.
Whoa. Is this the Drew and Fuse show? Is this real life?
Whoa.
This is not real life. This is the metaverse. Convince me. You are not avatars. You're not real.
I would be more happy if I was an avatar.
Yeah,
You know,
I can actually prove the fact that Drew is real. He's not an avatar. I've seen him half drunk at one of my parties before in real life. Almost drove him home.
Definitely very and by half drunk I mean just it was like a 7.
2 turns.
No, it was fun. We had a blast. I went out and celebrated my birthday in Nashville, and Aaron was easily the greatest guest host for a city. He just took us all around, took all my friends, and you know, we were just I didn't want to play, but everyone convinced me to play, and you know, it was a dope spot. We ate there, and you had let's see, it was supposed to be like kind of like yacht rocky vibe with some, and biggest song of the night, hands down. DJs, we've already talked about this, but Kokomo. Holy cow.
The floor off, man. I swear, at the right place at the right time. I'm trying to figure out where you segued it and the songs you were stacking between it, because it was just out of nowhere and it was harmonious, and everyone almost got out of their chair and started singing with candles in the air.
I'm hoping to hear Drew play some Kokomo at the bungalow
it seems
when I'm out there. Yeah.
Well, I will definitely be playing some Kokomo. It's a must.
This is cool. Thanks for having me on, you two.
No problem.
So, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna ask. So I know you're in Nashville, but have you always been in Nashville?
No, I traded some style of country for a different style of country. I moved from Montana to be here in Nashville, and it's 2 totally polar opposites.
I've never been to Montana. I'm guessing there's no raging party strip like that, like Nashville. But what part of Montana were you in, and how did you get into DJing, and were you playing a lot of what style of events were you doing there?
It's great because Montana has 5 or 6 semi-large cities. The coolest one of them all would have been Missoula, Montana, where I spent most of my time. And that was the home of the University of Montana, where college towns, I mean, much like that one, I'm sure, are just as exciting because every season you get a new influx of fresh faces, new audience, new people. So it's not just the same stagnant people at the club every single week. That's where I pretty much hung my hat for about a good long time, and was kind of poking around with Clear Channel. Clear Channel was what iHeartRadio is now. And I started, showing up more and more often and asking for a job. And they ended up giving me not just a job, but a chance to program their top 40 and a hip hop station in Missoula. So quickly doing that, you were able to kind of get in on the inside, play at the events more often. Whenever concerts would come through town, you'd always be either opening up for them or DJing for the, people on tour. Small town.
Who are some of the big acts that you had?
Well, for what we could get in the mid-sized market, it was like the Sir Mix-a-Lots, the Nellies, the Chingies, House of Pain, kind of the mid-90s hip-hop artists.
Okay, that's dope. And was that the station that you were doing? Was it very dedicated hip-hop, like a genre era?
Yeah, it was the only hip-hop radio station, like only rap station in the entire state of Montana, which made it extremely unique and difficult at the same time because it was brand new and small town rap music. We lost a few sponsors, safe to say.
Were they pushing just all like 2000s to 2010s, or what were they? What was the era?
Yeah, what I did was Fuse, where are you from? What city? Where are you at?
Cincinnati, Ohio.
Cincinnati, Ohio. What's your top 40 station over there?
It's KISS. We have two, KISS
and
Q102. Q102 is
probably more rhythmic, but KISS FM, the brand, would be something I would watch in a small town. Like I would go to the KISS FMs in LA or the Cincinnatis, and I would just watch their charts and stay on top of it. So to answer your question, Drew, it wasn't like resorting to certain decades or genres. It was just whatever was hot at the time.
So I have a question, something you just mentioned. The term rhythmic for a genre has always just made me laugh hysterically because it makes no sense to me. It's just such a blanket generic term. And we used to, anytime I get something that's labeled rhythmic 40, I'm like, I don't even know what that means,
Yeah. And you had a thing with urban too, like the urban classification and rhythmic. They're trying to, in a polite way, say rap music, I think.
Right. And both of them bother me. And just the same as dance bothers me as well, because technically everything we play is dance. So tagging these kind of different genres that to me are just doesn't make any sense. Like, are you like, we're going to get into how you retag your music, but are you typing in rhythmic for anything ever? Like, real talk. Come on.
Not
rhythmic, or
no,
you're like, you want to find Kokomo, you're like, dance.
Well, even still, like looking at
urban both.
Look at the top 40 stations and the EDM dance channels. Are the EDM dance channels actually songs we would play at a club? Very few and far between. I mean, there's that. Gosh, you should see the chart for dance music right now. Like 70% of the stuff you wouldn't play at a festival or a weekend pub.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, totally.
It's true.
Oh, Q102 is Hubbard. That just hit me. Hubbard Media Broadcasting. Hubbard Broadcasting. Our other like top 40 station here. But yeah. Anyway. Sorry.
That's where it all pretty much started, though, was just the investigating charts. Really, I mean, if you want to really fast forward to where Crate Hackers is now, it was me just looking at those charts like it was a stock market. Watching songs rise and fall off the top 10. I would literally be fixated with that, and I have been like that for 25 years now, just looking at charts. And I think that's really kind of what led me into where we're at today.
Yeah. The number one song on the Hot Dance Electronic Songs on Billboard right now, Hot Dance / Electronic, is Beyonce "Break My Soul." That's number one. Well, I see it. Yeah, but I can't see all the rest because I'm not a subscriber. So I thought I was going to at least be able to get the top 10, but no.
Yeah, no. but that's where it all started, back in Montana. And then I came to Nashville. Just they say that they call Nashville a all-star town. Where you go to when you live in a small town and you've made it to a certain point. You think you've kind of capped out. Like, let's say you're in a college town and you're just like, where do I go? I've got this certain style I want to bring to another city. Go to Nashville. They call it the all-star city because all the kids from the small towns who did something are trying to make it here as well.
And what propelled you to go to Nashville? Is that kind of what it was? You're like, you felt like you hit your peak there and you're like, hey, Nashville's it. And I'm just going to go there.
No, I wish. I did what most boys did at the time and followed a girl,
Okay. All right. Makes
You
sense.
follow your heart, and you ended up in a town you were not familiar with. I'm no longer with that girl, but I'm still in the city that I love. So it's a good trade-off. And we just, I never thought I would love Nashville. I thought I don't like country music. I never have liked country music. And yet,
So to all the DJs that listen here that haven't been in Nashville, I've just, like I said, we were talking about, just had been there just recently this year, and I'm old as dirt, and apparently, it took me forever to get there. It's very country based, but DJs are, there's a million DJs that they're playing at every time of the day, on all different floors. They always need DJs. So maybe explain the programming, that it's not just all bands, and what else is coming in, and maybe talk about what you were doing at Jonny Cash Bar.
Well, sure. Yeah. I would like to say that it's stereotypical to think of Nashville as country, but we've also painted ourselves into that corner. And that was in my head the whole time when I'm back in Montana. What the hell would I go to Nashville for? I mean, there's no room for DJs. Sure enough, we get down there, and we moved to Nashville at about the time the Broadway bars were starting to realize that, oh, wait, we can put a DJ on the rooftop and still hold on to the authentic band and honky tonk on the first floor. We can double our money. And I saw that wave of popularity rise because one popular venue managed to pull it off, and everyone else wanted to copycat that. So I came in at that point where the bars were like, we're going to grab any person we can find, any DJ. You know how to play music? Come over here, get on stage. And it was like a entertainment agency rush. Everyone is
what
like,
year is this?
Stages. It was about 6 years ago.
Okay.
And one bar started, then it was 15 bars, then it was 20 bars, and we just kind of caught that wave. And what's fun is that we don't have to play country music. I don't have a single country, well, maybe a few songs, but not a lot of country songs in my collection. We don't have to. There's more than enough bands to cover the country aspect of it all.
I'm sure.
The girls want to see the guys, dancing on stage with the tight jeans for a minute, but then at the end of the night, they want to go twerk, and that's where the DJ comes in.
So do you have your all black tight jeans as well, just so you can compete a little bit?
you know me and my affinity for black clothing. Yep.
Do you trade that flat bill for a Stetson? Or what?
Not at all. Not at all.
I love it.
Yeah. So what kind of circle back at what Drew was saying, like you do stuff, you're the official DJ at the Jonny Cash Museum and there's Saloon. So how does that work in? Are you doing country stuff there? Or are you still kind of like
No. Jonny Cash loved hip hop music. It was really strange for me too, because when I started working at that place, I was really nervous. Like, why would you want to have a DJ in this venue? Because it's so, it's the House of Cash. It's Jonny. And it didn't make much sense to me until I met Jonny Cash's best friend, Bill, who was the owner of the venue. And I just came to him and said, listen, is this blasphemous to be playing EDM and hip hop in a Jonny Cash venue, which is known for country and rock? And he said, no. You have to understand, Jonny, when he was around, he loved it when Jay-Z would sample him or Snoop Dogg would remake his music. Really appreciated that art form. And I think, his quote, Jonny Cash's friend's quote was that if Jonny were alive today, he would really appreciate the modern day DJ. And that gave me everything I needed. That's all the ammo I needed to just go in, be authentically myself. play, the music that gets the dance floor going, regardless of genre.
Well, he worked with Rick Rubin, which, I guess I could kind of understand how he would pull a lot of that stuff from.
Well, you also have to think that Johnny Cash was, speaking for the streets back then. He loved going to prisons to speak with the people who had, downtrodden lives or a life of crime. I mean, really, Johnny was the official original gangster.
He was.
He
I mean,
was a gangster rapper. He really was.
he did a full live show just at, a prison because he was like, fuck it. Like, this is what we're going to do.
That's right. Because he appreciated what their story was and somebody had to share it.
So do you like Johnny Cash's music? Because
I
I'm
grew
not a country guy. Yeah, and I actually love Johnny Cash, but I've never really considered him country. I just don't think it's like, if anything, it's like that outlaw country. I don't know, like it's totally different vibes from now. Even then, kind of too.
There was I call it a locomotion sound to his music. A real tempo driving, like you want to always move, and that rhythm you can replicate. You can hear that in hip hop. You can still hear that in hip hop. You can hear it in some house music sometimes. He always had that churn of tempo that was just different than country. I never classified it as such.
Right.
Yeah.
I agree.
I've always loved his music. I loved the album with the covers of like the 9 Inch Nails and Personal Jesus and all that too. I always thought that was really awesome that he did that.
But in all honesty, though, I really haven't even been on Broadway in about 6 months. Oh gosh, it's even longer than that now. God, it's almost a year. I'm looking at my calendar now. I haven't been to Johnny Cash in about a year. I haven't been on Broadway in about a year.
So you were the resident there for 5 years, and then you kind of moved on. And what was that transition into that? The pandemic must have hit, right? Or was that did you finish before the pandemic?
You know what really honestly, the truth is that I stopped DJing because my family died. My family passed away. I lost my mom and my dad and my grandma in a short amount of time, like in 3 months time, last year. And it was at that point that everything just changed.
Right.
The priorities of, being up till 3 o'clock in the morning and having the newest music in your library just wasn't a priority for me at the time. So it took a while for me to shake that off, and I guess I'm staging a comeback in a way. Starting to, I'll get back down there at some point, but right now, priorities just shift during things like that.
Hey, life happens, and I think it's hard for some DJs as we all grow and change and evolve. I mean, this has become a longer career than I think a lot of people ever thought was possible. So we're all forging that new life of, hey, this is a full-time career, but there's going to be hills and valleys and stuff that we need to learn from and stop and just take time for.
And we're going to be that age too. We're also getting old enough to be like, oh my gosh, you're still alive. There's still a lot of people out there like, oh my God, you're still at the club and you're in a bar 25 years later. What the hell are you doing? Yeah, man, we're getting to that point where life just happens. And then, but that music and that feeling of energy you get when you push play in front of an audience, that's never going to go away regardless.
I gotta say, we had some friends from out of town, and they're like, "Hey, you want to go to a bar?" And I'm like, I took them out too, and it's somewhat of my happy place, just because I have spent so much time in there. It is like a little bit of a happy, it's a little bit of a calming thing, as much as it's degrading to our bodies. It's still a little bit of a happy place. So no, I get the yin and the yang, and the hardness of just like having to pull yourself out, but still feeling like at home there. So,
but I still want to go back, and I'm going to, just taking a little more me time for myself. But also the Crate Hackers thing is just keeping me really happy and, pleasantly distracted. God, without that community, without that crew, and without people like you kind of checking in on me, I would be kind of a burnout, to be
Right.
honest. Yeah.
Well, we want to get deep into Crate Hackers. Oh, go ahead, Fuse. Sorry.
I was gonna say, just kind of hitting what you were saying, like, I it's hard because like when I talk about, oh, well, like if I'm never DJing and like I'm 34 and like I'm looking to a spot where it's like I don't know if that'll ever happen. I'm sure I'll still be DJing somewhere, like at some point, just because it's for me, it's like there's this thing that you get that you can't you can't replicate it. Like I don't get it from anything else. And not to compare us to professional wrestlers, but I was watching
Everything is
on
compared to professional wrestlers.
I was watching Ric Flair's last match on Sunday, which was in Nashville, and I almost came down.
I was there. I was there live.
You were?
Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
Dope.
So you know what I mean?
Mhm.
He's 73 years old and he still can't get away from it because, and he said it at the end, like, this is the thing that I truly love. And, I
Yeah.
appreciate you got, like, it was like, so I knew what I was going to watch when I paid for it to watch it on pay-per-view. And I wasn't mad at it. Like, it wasn't good, but I wasn't mad at any bit of it because, like, it was exactly what I expected. And it was like so many mixed emotions watching it because, like I've been watching wrestling for a long time and it was like watching this guy. My dad just passed away a couple months ago and he was 71. And to think that Ric Flair is 73 and just out there doing that is just insane to me, but like,
Yeah.
I get it. I get his feeling for it and all of that.
Do you think we'll be doing this when we are retired?
Did anybody think Mick Jagger would be up there singing Satisfaction at like 78 years old? I don't think so, but he is.
I had to talk an old friend off a ledge the other day. He was, 55 years old and really thinking, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. And I said, no. You got to think about this because a lot of DJs in your age are in their prime. And he stopped and he paused and he said, you know what? You're right. And we ended the conversation, but he called me back 5 minutes later. He's like, no, I Googled it. You're right. Like the biggest, best DJs are in their prime at this age. David Guetta, Armin van Buuren, Tiesto, like they're all in their 50s. I'm like, yeah, see, you still got it. I think that the finer the age, it's like wine. It's just going to get more seasoned over time. So
totally.
I agree. I think there's a little bit of that mental where, we've had so many people over the years being like, you shouldn't be doing this. You can't do this. You can't do this. You can't do this. You can't make a living off being a DJ. And then, you make it and you do it and it's amazing and you love it. And then there's always people just going like, you can't do this your whole life. It's just, you got to just tune out all the fucking knuckleheads and,
nice. Yes.
Just, hey, I'm going to do me.
Amen.
Do you.
I feel like it's a lot of jealousy too, coming from other people that have been working, 20 years at a job. You might be the same age or even, where it's like, oh, you still actually like what you're doing. And it's like, yeah, I do like what I'm doing. And I'm sorry that you don't and that you chose that. But I knew that I wasn't cut out for that kind of work from the beginning. And that's why I went this way, but
we're pretty lucky.
And I think like anything evolves, and like you're a perfect and prime example of like your DJ career evolving into something more with like the Crate Hackers and just all of that. I think that you're still a DJ at the core, with what Crate Hackers is.
You'd have to be. Yeah, I wouldn't be able to stop entirely. So to be clear, I'm not, completely hermited out here. I'm doing weddings. I'm picking up gigs left and right. I'm being more selective with what I'm doing rather than doing 5 days a week like I used to. I still have to DJ. I want to DJ, don't get me wrong. But the older you get, you can start to be a little bit more selective.
My wife put this into my brain when I decided that I wanted to go to full time. She put this into my brain because I was trying to be an entrepreneur but do everything right. And she's like, if it doesn't have music or DJ in that title, you're not doing it. So
hey, nice.
Crate Hackers is still music and DJing, right?
It is.
Me working for DMS, music and DJing. So as long as it fits in that mold, podcast, music and DJing. You know, I'm
Right.
not just starting a cooking podcast. It's still something in my wheelhouse that I'm
Yeah.
able to give back. So
Well, there's a lot of radio DJs who simply aren't making money anymore. You know, these iHeart and Clear Channel and you know, mom and pop shops up and down the road. They had these DJs who were flamethrowers back in the 90s or the early 2000s. The Drive at 5 guy, the morning show boys who are making hundreds of $1,000s a year. They're making pennies now. Where are they going?
Right.
They're still DJing, but they're more, you know, actually where they go the most? Public speaking. You know,
Right.
being a mentor, being a host on webinars, hosting a podcast. You know, these people are jumping ship on the FM stick and heading over to like there's bigger platforms out there. And
Right.
again, with age, it doesn't matter. The experience is going to be carried over to no matter the platform.
Always.
This is Arnold here, the movie star of Twins and Kindergarten Cop. Drew and Fuse are going to ask you a series of questions, and I want you to answer them immediately. Don't bullshit them. Answer the questions. Hurry! I'm after the chopper. It's now time for rapid fire.
It's a bunch of baloney. There are innocent bystanders down there.
Let's go. I have my energy drink. I'm ready. Hit me. Let's go.
All right.
Very
So,
vulnerable right now. Let's go.
What's some music that you're currently listening to, whether it's personal, it doesn't even have to be music. It could be podcasts. It can be whatever. It's just something you like to listen to in your personal time.
The Drew and Fuse Show.
Yeah.
What a great plug.
Just holding for the edit.
Hey,
Okay,
clip
there you go.
that. Clip that right there.
I love the Sirius XM channel, EDM Chill. I love the EDM Chill channel. You can listen to that right after you're done at a set. You're winding down. Nora and Pure, Lane 8, any of that EDM, just vibey lounge music every day, all day. That's me.
I like it.
Perfect. Do you have a favorite remixer or producer? And it doesn't have to be like DJ edits. It can just be, you know, music wise.
Drew Pierce.
These plugs are getting amazing, dude.
Yeah, right.
Zip that one
You
too.
set yourself up for it. I'm telling you. I'm really loving anything Chris Lake.
Okay.
Yeah, really feeling that.
Fisher Ghost producer.
Yeah,
that
I was
we're
just
not
gonna say,
supposed to know
so
about.
Fisher.
Yeah. Man, I'm trying to think of anything else off the top, but that's the first one that came to mind.
Were you playing any of that stuff at Jonny Cash Bar or some of your spots, or was that a little too deep?
I saved that for the Virgin hotels, the Omni hotels, those kind of retail mainstream environments. Yeah.
So, Johnny, I'm trying to wrap my head around it. We went out during the day, so we were just seeing mostly the bands. I didn't really see any of the DJs, but I feel like it's got to be very Vegas, right? Where you're doing really open format because people are just coming from all over the country. You can't get too deep on it. You got to just keep it moving, keep it changing.
Yeah, okay. in a Vegas or Nashville environment, you have to consider your dance floor is about 15 minutes, and you're doing a really good job if it's any more than that. And so you're highly repetitious. You're playing extremely familiar music. They do appreciate the remix. They really do.
Okay.
But as long as it's within the vein of something they know and can sing along to.
So because you're doing these sets are crazy long. I mean, you're going till 4 a.m. So you're playing
5-hour sets. Yeah,
you're playing the same. You find that you're having to repeat just because it is what it is.
You have to. You kind of keep your eyes set on the dance floor and look for that largest group of people and do a little mental inventory. If they're gone, then you start over again. Sometimes you have to. The only person you're pissing off is the bartender.
Right.
They're there with you, but they know that's the name of the game.
Well, because there's 1 billion bachelorette parties. There's just bachelorette parties everywhere.
Yeah, and that's it. It's a new audience all the time too.
It's like a big bar hopping area too. So I wouldn't say that people are probably coming in to spend the bulk of their night at one spot,
And you don't even need to promote. That's the wild thing. Is I was thinking I was going to have to, hustle it with some Facebook ads or some flyers when I was down there. But you got to consider, if you've never been to Nashville, Broadway is like the Vegas Strip. It's blocks and blocks and blocks and blocks of entertainment. It starts at 10 a.m. in the morning, and it goes till 3 a.m. at night. And it's 7 days a week. I think the only day they ever shut down that entire block is on Christmas. But it's constant entertainment on all floors that they have. The music has to be playing during those hours. It's a trip. So to say that there's a need to promote yourself, you go up, you get paid, you do a gig, you leave, you come back for more. There's plenty. We need more DJs in Nashville, straight up.
Right.
We really, really do.
You're hearing this first, but we're going to be announcing the Drew and Fuse bachelorette party coming up here in Nashville soon.
We got stages. We got stages. Come on, let's do this.
No, we're just going to be out there bar hopping with all the fans.
Sure.
Yeah.
I'm there.
I'm only 4 hours. I'm a 4 hour drive from Nashville. So if you're ever in a pinch, need something, let me know.
Yeah.
I can. I'm not too far away, but
we'll be in Nashville here for the DJ Collective.
Yeah, well, that's true.
That's
true.
true. We should definitely talk about that.
Okay, so we ask everybody this in our rapid fire, and it stumps a lot of people at first, especially if you don't listen to every episode of the show. But what is your favorite non-curse word, one word insult? If you're gonna insult somebody, or like you're driving in your car and somebody pushes you off, say,
I refrain from that. I don't insult anybody. I try not to.
What was it? Swashbuckler we had recently?
Oh, scallywag.
Scallywag.
Dookie.
We have not had Dookie. I like that. All right.
Add that to the list. It just pops up in my head all the time.
We're gonna maybe, Drew, I think we should just make a small run of shirts and bring them to the collective and give them away. A small run of like 25 shirts. But the goal is we're just gonna have all of these one word insults on it and then just our logo. So it's gonna say like it's like douchebag, clown, scallywag, dookie, like just all these things, and then the Drew and Fuse show. And so it's like in turn like we're making fun of ourselves because it just says a bunch of insults and then our logo.
I love it.
Self-deprecating. I love it.
Okay, this is another thing we ask everybody, and I'm really excited for this one because I kind of think where it might go, but if it doesn't go that way, I'm okay with it. But it's the go-to Nashville area food spot. If we're coming in, and you're gonna take us to the spot to eat in Nashville, what is it?
Oh, damn.
And it doesn't have to be the popular choice. It has to be. We mostly want the Aaron Traylor choice.
I mean, y'all know the typical answer. Go ahead and fill in the blank for me, guys. What is it?
Nashville. It's like that Nashville hot chicken.
The hot chicken. No, man. You want to go to like the Chick-fil-A in Franklin, Tennessee. I'm telling you, that's the place you want to go, because you got to understand that Franklin, Tennessee is the Bible Belt. And all the Christian artists live out there. The Amy Grants, the Five for Fightings, all those Christian bands, and they support that Chick-fil-A like it's the post office. You got to see the drive-through. I can't explain it unless you see it. You've seen some of those complicated drive-throughs that they have at the Chick-fil-A's.
I think it's almost every Chick-fil-A has that drive-through.
I'm telling you, if Chick-fil-A would have been like the administrators of the vaccine, that virus would have been gone so fast. The machine they run at the Franklin Chick-fil-A, you just got to see it to believe it. Is
it because they have Jesus on their side?
Side? I don't know.
Wait! I'm actually wondering, did someone over there see Jesus in one of the Chick-fil-A, like in one of the nuggets, right?
Yeah.
They're like, I see Jesus is in the nugget.
That's it. We're closed on Sundays from here on out.
Now you're just taking it too far.
Everyone goes there because Jesus is in the nugget.
Right.
My local Chick-fil-A, the line is insane always. They have 4 people that work the line, like to make your orders, right? That are out there taking orders. It's a double line. Then they have a girl, once you've placed your order, who like organizes the cars. That goes, okay, this person's order is ahead of this person. That way, so when you pull up to the window, they know the exact order.
It's incredible. Like, have you heard My Pleasure?
Yeah, every time.
Every time.
Oh yeah.
Thank you very much. We appreciate it. Oh, my pleasure. Now I'm saying it more and more often. I'm not saying you're welcome. It's my pleasure. You think they get docked points or they get less pay if they say you're welcome?
They've engraved it into their heads though. That's what's amazing to me. Is like the office I sit in, I'm with the guy that owns the 2 bars that I work for, and he's always talking about training and like everything has to be simplified and this and that. And I feel like he does a pretty good job of both the spots but it's like to ingrain that in every employee's head is
Brainwashed.
insane. Yeah.
Well, there's a Chick-fil-A that just offered, it was in the news a couple days ago, that you could get 5 free chicken sandwiches if you work for them. So they're looking for volunteers. They're not going to pay them. They wouldn't pay them cash. They would give them 5 chicken sandwiches a day if they quote unquote volunteered. It didn't work out very well for them. But at the same time, I'm thinking, shit, man, that's 5
So
really good sandwiches.
I was talking with, and I think this is a little tangent, but it goes into being a business owner and just whatnot. That's a good business owner. Somebody that is saying, hey, my pleasure, engraving certain things in your head. I worked at Disneyland, and you couldn't just point one finger because it was offensive to some people. You had to do 2 fingers. It's like always like, it's that way. Bathroom is that way. And so I think just being a good employer and really guiding and building up your people to become better people is amazing, right? A bad employer would be someone from McDonald's that tells you to fuck off and die when you ask for an extra mustard. You know what I mean? Right? Whereas the Chick-fil-A is like, yes, fam, got you. Here's a dump truck of as much hot mustard as you can go. So it is just as a business owner, treating your people right and teaching them the most baby step things possible, right?
Yep.
So that's a good takeaway that I think Chick-fil-A.
Do you still do the 2-finger point? Do you still do the 2-finger? Or
I added a third.
The 3-finger, right?
I thought maybe you're gonna switch to the Obama thumb.
What did I sign up for?
All right, so all right, we got that the food spot. It's the Chick-fil-A, and where?
In Franklin, Tennessee. Yeah, Bible Belt, Tennessee.
There we go.
What's the known Nashville chicken spot?
Yeah.
Oh, Hattie B's.
Hattie B's. Okay.
Hattie B's. That's the spot. Yeah. If you want to get generic. Yep.
And actually, wait. Aaron gave me and my friends like the golden nugget tip if you want to get Hattie B's. So you said the line at Hattie B's is wrapped around the block. But what's the golden nugget if you're visiting?
Oh, it's simple. I mean, if you're ever going to go to those touristy spots, like the thing that really annoys me are the people who wake up super early on a Sunday, hungover, and they're going to wait in line for 2 hours to go have brunch somewhere. The same thing applies to the hot chicken thing down here. People will wait 3 hours in line for some fucking hot chicken. Uber Eats, just have it sent to your hotel. Have somebody else do the waiting in line. I would much rather pay someone else to do the waiting and just not move and have it delivered.
We took that advice. We had Uber Eats deliver it. It was amazing. It was the move. So that was the best golden nugget. We were all stoked on that one. So
yep. Travel tip.
Yeah.
One more Nashville question that's kind of related to this question, but the Jack White's record store. I've seen some videos on it. Have you been there? Like his.
Jack White's record store? No, I personally haven't. Wow. I did meet Jack White though. He pops in and out of town all the time. I was DJing a dance for his daughter at a private school one time.
Wow, dope.
Yeah, that
very
was
dope.
It was really cool. I got a picture of my daughter and Jack White together because I brought my daughter to the daddy-daughter dance. Yeah, it was great.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
The record store is called Third Man Records. And,
sure. Okay, yeah. I didn't realize that was the connection, but yeah, Third Man Record Store. Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think he does like printing there too. Like they actually like print records there.
That's kind of a hot thing here in Nashville. A couple of spots do that pressing vinyl. I think it's like $20 a pressing or something like that. But that'd be kind of fun to be able to get like all of your edits or all your mini edits to like just quick mix on some vinyl. That'd be super.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Hey, we need to wait. Is that anywhere in Nashville? Is that just a thing, or is there like a specific spot for $20 a record? Because maybe me and Fuse need to put some customs on a vinyl and sell them.
There's more than enough spots. Third Man Records is one of them, but there's a few others I can point you towards.
It's a great idea.
We're gonna
clip this so nobody else hears it.
We're gonna get the Drew and Fuse. We're gonna get the Drew and Fuse show theme song, and we're gonna start selling it on vinyl.
That's brilliant.
7-inch. Here's a 7-inch.
Yeah, because we got a new theme song too. We've got a new song that we're gonna use for our closing credits here soon.
Yeah.
That is
I was
We
gonna say
had
that intro is just fantastic. I got to step up my intro game because that was the best thing I've seen all day.
well, we had a fan actually create a new intro, and so we're gonna use it in the show. It's coming up here shortly. Once Fuse comes out, we're gonna shoot a bunch of new stuff for it. So that's gonna be
Nice.
dropping
Yeah.
here shortly.
Yeah, that's kind of the main point of my trip out there in a couple weeks. Drew and I, we just have so much to do, and it's like, okay, well, we can't do it unless one's here. So I'm just going out there, and Rod's out there already, who helps us with the video stuff. So it just kind of makes sense. We're gonna shoot a bunch of stuff, and
Very nice.
yeah.
Looking forward to
So
that.
one last rapid fire question, and like we said, it always turns into the not so rapid fire.
I was gonna say this.
If you were in a room full of DJs and you had to brag about one thing in your DJ career, or a story or anything, what would it be?
I used to brag about the fact that I was the tallest DJ in America.
Which is a
That's
fact.
no lie either.
Yeah, that was my moniker for a number of years too. I was
That
just
post you
known
did
as-
recently with you being taller than the sign for the parking structure was amazing.
Yeah, no, I mean it's up until Shaq came along and took the title from me.
Oh yeah, damn.
But I think maybe tallest full-time DJ in America didn't have quite as good enough ring to it. So
Yeah, look at this picture, peeps. That's
Yeah.
Drew and Aaron right there.
That's a huge
That is
bitch. That's a huge bitch. Yeah, that was funny because I was looking through my Amazon. So y'all wonder like why I wear the same shirt, right?
I do the same thing, but yes, go for it.
Here, let me share my screen with you. Can I share my screen?
Yeah.
You gotta see
You
it.
might be able to. Yeah.
Let me see if I can do this really quick. I was just looking on Amazon, and it's impossible for me to find clothing in the mall. And so I was looking
Right.
through, and I realized that holy crap, all of my orders, everything I've ever worn before is like on queue and ready to buy again. Like all my T-shirts and pants and shirts, and because you can't go into a mall and find anything that I would ever wear. So I have
Right.
it all on add to cart and ready to go. I can't go into a shopping mall and find clothing that fits straight up.
Yeah.
No one. So you just
For
gotta.
sure.
So I ordered 30 of these,
Yeah.
30 of the same pants that fit, 30 of the same socks that fit, 30 of the just no fuss.
And you don't
Yeah.
have to worry about picking your outfit of what you're gonna wear because it's all
Nailed
the
it.
same. It was like one of those things I heard somebody, or I think it was what's the Apple guy? Why can't I Steve Jobs
so-
he wore the same thing over and over so he didn't have to waste any time thinking about you
Yeah.
know, what he was gonna wear.
But it's on brand. I mean, it's very on brand for you. It fits, oh, that's Aaron. You don't have to
Well,
think much.
no, it's not. It's okay. Yeah, it stands out, but it's a mentality. Like you were talking about, Fuse. It's the Steve Jobs wears the same turtleneck and pants. Mark Zuckerberg wears the same hoodie and jeans all the time. Einstein wore the same smock. He had 30 of them in his closet. Why? Because when you're that busy, or when you have so many things going on, it's one less thing to worry about each day. How often do we spend our time looking in the mirror saying, this needs to change, or I need to buy something different? That's one thing out of my life. And I think that's what path I've been taking for the past, ever since I stepped away from Broadway, is minimizing and downsizing and starting almost over. Like I said, staging my comeback. It starts with the clothing. It starts with the music organization, my collection. I started my entire collection all over again too.
It's what you're comfortable in the most,
That's right.
right? Yeah, it's what makes you feel comfortable. Also helps breathe the rest of your day.
Mhm.
Let's talk about music organization. We're gonna hit you with we're basically gonna talk music. Let's talk
Sure.
music.
Yeah, we'll play the segment video. It's another great one. So here we go.
Hello, this is Bond. James Bond. Joanne Fuse, I think it's about time we talk about music. Personally, I like to listen to grown and sexy smooth jazz with my favorite girl, Pussy Galore. Now make me a cold martini, shaken, not stirred. And break down your top music.
Oh, wow. So
I feel like we needed Jonny Cash to call in at this episode. Right?
Yeah, we that's
messed
the
up.
next one, Drew.
Yeah,
The next
Johnny.
one. So we were talking a little bit before we started the show, how you've been kind of taking a break from DJing, and one of the reasons too is that you've just completely dumped your library and you're rebuilding your library. So you want to tell us a little bit kind of about that and that process and your thought process behind it?
well, okay, so I guess we'll preface it like this. Drew, how many songs do you have in your collection right now?
I just deleted. So I actually, it's a little bit of a trick question, but I'm going to get to it. I bought a new laptop and I've now moved the bulk of my library over to it's going to be like my quote unquote desktop. And that was always what I was struggling with for music was I do mix shows. I want to be able to keep this. I want to be able to keep this. And so a lot of the stuff that I wouldn't want to put on a mix show was staying on my laptop for DJing, and it was messing me up because I would never play it live. But it sounds dope on a mix show. So I'm moving all of that over. So I've dropped down to, I think I'm at between 6,500 and 7,000.
Wow.
And it's probably going to get lower.
Considering that you're like a DMS editor and you have different stems and pieces everywhere, you got a larger than average collection, but actually manageable at the same time. 7,000 isn't too bad.
Although that's going to drop even lower. I'm saying like I'm currently moving all of the stuff. So I'm going to keep my biggest library. I want to keep everything because I want to be able to search it. I want to be like, oh, I want that, and not be struggling to find it. So that's all going on the bigger home desktop laptop. Yeah.
Yeah. And for me, it was like, when you go out weekend after weekend and you start to get used to your market and you're playing for the same kind of crowds every time you go out, you start to realize what your library is after a while. You go to your most played, you think, okay, I'm never going to get rid of those. And so obviously you're going to keep, I think Jason Jani gave me the best advice. He said, go to your history, the past 2 years. If you're going to do anything with your collection, if you're going to delete or get rid of some things, keep the last 2 years because that's the embodiment of what you've been known for.
Right.
So I decided to take that and remaster it in a way. So it began with looking at the history and then taking it through a number of filters. I want to share this with you. Some really cool steps I took with it in a minute, but just narrowing it down to the best of the best of the best. And then at that point, like I knew I was always going to play Whitney Houston's I Want to Dance with Somebody, right? We're all going to play that.
Do you have multiple edits of it or do you have just like one?
I'm glad you brought that up because I have one right now.
Okay.
But it's the best possible one. It's like the perfect 8-bar intro, the perfect segue outro. It's cue pointed, it's clean, it's run through platinum notes, it's run through mixed in key. It is remastered to where it's the most pristine copy of Whitney Houston's I'm Gonna Dance with Somebody in my collection.
Right.
So I started paring things down little by little. I went through the top 200 songs on Wedding. I went through Billboard. I went through charts. I went through all that. And then I took it down a step even further. Let me show you guys a website that I think y'all might appreciate. I'm going somewhere with this, so follow along with me.
I think Aaron's the first person that's actually shared his screen with us, and so this is awesome. We got somebody that's ahead of the tech game here.
I do realize it's a podcast, but
we put it on YouTube. We put it on YouTube, so people are watching this. It's great.
Musicstacks.com. Musicstacks.com. If you can you see my screen? All right, there it is.
Yeah.
Fuse, give me a song. Name any artist or title.
Deion Sanders, Must Be the Money.
Random, but okay. Money. Okay.
Deion Sanders redid that. What are you talking about?
Here it is. Money Old. Must Be the Money. Okay, so Deion Sanders, Must Be the Money. It has get this. Okay, look. It has a popularity score of 23%. It has a danceability score of 80%. It's got an energy score of 79, and it's got positive 42. So now you can type in any song, right? Like, so I would go like 24K Magic, right? And it shows me pretty cool factors that I would normally never have come across, right? Like you're listening to a song, you're basing it off of your gut. You're like, I will play this song, but I just realized that it's a 20% popularity score. So what that means is like, how many times is that song shared in a playlist? How many times is it in the charts? How many streams is it getting on Facebook or on a Spotify? so what I went through is I took my entire collection and I whittled it down to a rule base. Nothing was going to enter my collection unless it had a popularity score of 60% or higher. Nothing was going to enter my collection unless it had a danceability score of 60% or higher. Energy had to be between like 20 or 40% depending on the mood of it. And then positive, how positive do I don't want it to be a depressing song. I want everybody to be able to dance, feel energized, and feel good. So I kept my positivity at about 40% or higher. So after all was said and done, I went through and took it down.
Wait. Can I interrupt real quick for a hot second? Wait, I want you to go back to that screen.
Sure.
Because DJs that are just listening or just people that aren't Crate Hackers members, this is something that I struggle with all the time because I know in like mixing key and certain of these things, but danceability, what does that really mean? Because I've gone on to different things where I'll run it through and it's like danceability says this or energy says this, and it could be like my biggest song and they have energy is low and it's like that song destroys, right? So what's the give and take of this actually being quote unquote accurate, right?
The proper definition is, it says a measure on how suitable a track could be for dancing to, meaning measuring tempo, rhythm, stability, beat strength, overall regularity. Tracks near 1% are least danceable, 100% most danceable. So again, this is run through artificial intelligence. Not every robot is going to have it right. Like Crazy in Love was I think Crazy in Love was like a 29% danceability. I was like, fuck that.
Right. Yeah, exactly. That's my point. And so how do you judge that? Like if you're putting through all these filters, right? There's got to be some that doesn't always line up.
Your experience, your gut, your art. You've been through it long enough to know that
pull up Aha, Take on Me. I want to see what it says for that.
You'll be surprised because it's actually kind of low.
So you're still this is not the end all be all is what I want.
No, but it's a great barometer.
Yes.
Yeah. But I think popularity is a big thing too. Is it something that the mass majority of people are listening to?
Popularity is big.
Yeah, so that's big to me.
But what is the popularity pulling, right? Is that pulling Spotify playlists?
The popularity is 85%. I'm surprised on that.
Right, but the danceability is 57%. And that's the part that threw me out. I thought that would be a more danceable song, but that's got that two-step feel to it, which may trip up the feet a little bit. But anyway, my point is I was using this kind of as a nice little gauge to see what songs graduate into my collection.
I would love this. Are you able popularity thing? I like that.
Do you run every single song through this, or are you okay? You can't just like export your CSV file and upload it to it, right?
I did this by hand.
Check. All right. Yeah.
I did this by hand for 7 weeks.
So what I want to just make sure that we're saying is, and I've been on the Crate Hackers, and we're doing one here on the 30th, just as a little plug, but but something that I want to just make sure that I tell all of the people that are listening that aren't Crate Hackers members is, or not even just everybody in general, you still have to do the fucking work.
Yeah,
you still have to go through all the songs. I mean, there's not an end all be all where it's like, yay, magic has happened. Now we're gonna do all dance and we're doing puppeteers for everybody. You still gotta do the work, right?
As an example, like I was able to get Drew Pierce's set from that lounge that we were playing at in Nashville. It had Kokomo in it, I cannot wait to play that crate again someday myself personally, but I know that it's never going to have that same timing, feel, or sway the way you would do it, because it's just a different musical sheet that somebody else is performing with.
And you're reading the crowd. You're looking at the crowd. Like that crowd couldn't be there the next day, and I would never play that set ever again, right?
But if I can help you, and eliminate that guesswork of, is this song popular? Is this song on the charts? Maybe a lot of DJs don't have a lot of time to keep up on the charts as much as they should. If I can help them, eliminate the songs that will be duds, I've done my part. The rest is up to you.
The other advice I would have that I see DJs do all the time, and that me and Drew like to say, is just look up from your computer. Look up and see what people are doing to the song.
Best advice
there. What are you talking about? That's weird, man.
Absolutely. So I also took this after all was said and done. Look at my collection right now. I only have 1,500 songs in my collection, guys.
Wow.
1,500.
This is game changing because we had FaZe on and he was telling us what he had 3,000. I thought, okay, I need to do something. And you're telling us half of that, 1,500.
I'm going to start building up again now. So I'm going to go to Whitney Houston and try and find awesome remixes of that. Now, I know I have the baseline song. Now I'm going to start going to DMS and downloading dope remixes and such to build this up a little bit more. As long as I know I have popular songs, I'm going to find remixes for them, and that collection number will go up. But here's the last thing I'll show you. As you can see, I started building all these crates, right? And I figured, well, since I've already got all this stuff here and I'm starting over again, why not get ready for the future? And if MP3s are going away, like many of us say they are, why don't I just clone this and duplicate the work over on streaming? So I put my streaming. So you can see right here, this on my Spotify, there's my pop current, here's my recurrent. Like, so I'm building my collection to be ready for the future and change with it as it goes. Now, obviously, I'm not going to be able to put DMS remixes into a Tidal or a Beat Source or a SoundCloud or something like that. But at least I'll still have streaming variations that I can be ready for. So for me, it's like I'm ready to go now with the most remastered popular songs in my record box or my Serato. But I'm also ready for if that day comes and we all have to shift to streaming.
That's awesome, man. So, and you're hand doing all of the streaming playlists as well.
Yeah, for now. I'll figure out a way to hack it.
Is that specifically only for Spotify that you're doing that, or what are you doing for that?
I'm actually sharing that now inside the Crate Hackers desktop app. So I'll share my screen one more time. If you go inside Crate Hackers, you'll start to see all the work that I've done here. It goes to the audience. So if I go to charts now, here's the same exact thing. My collection is mirrored now with everybody else's. If you ever want to take a peek inside my playlist, my collection, you can now look here inside the app and find all those songs, and it will be ready to go anywhere you want it to be. So you could find all your edits, like Direct Music Service would have them here, or the streaming, you can find them, purchase them, download them, buy the vinyl if you want to, or the cassette. I'm trying to just pollinate this to where it's available for everyone to have and watch and curate with me.
Well, before you go too far on this, and I don't want to spend the whole time on this, but if you could just, I've had multiple DJs lately hit me up about Crate Hackers that, they're seeing the ads and they don't necessarily, they're like, oh, what do you think? I see your name pops up on there and you help them out. Mm-hmm. I always say the app is gold. So just, can you do a quick little walk through on the app? Because I know you can't see that app if you're not a member. So
yeah, we'll just go back to the app that you would download if you were a member. And then the first things first is it's going to help you find the songs that's already in your collection. So rather than go and download duplicates, you're going to sync up your
screen back over.
Sure. Oh, yeah.
Take the screen with the app. Yep.
Wherever your music is, you would just add it to the app. So if you store your music in Dropbox, you find it there. If you find it on your hard drive, you're basically telling the app, hey, here's my music. And from that point on, you're going to help track match through over 2,000 playlists that we've already curated for you. You can bring your own playlists in. If, for example, like a bride or a groom gives you a song list and says, hey, here's a notepad document of all my favorite songs, please play these tomorrow night. You're not going to have to go back and forth to try to do this by hand. Everything is completely automated to where you can take any playlist and make sure that you have those songs currently in your collection. If you don't have the songs, we're going to send you to over 50 places to find it, like Direct Music Service or various other record pools out there. So no matter where you get your music, we're going to help you find it faster.
I love it. Fuse, any questions with that?
I don't have any questions because I feel like I know. But if you were a veteran, if you were pitching this to a veteran DJ, what would be the thing that you would tell a veteran DJ? I guess would be
which is because I think that's all the questions I'm getting. I'm getting vets who are like, oh, I see this is coming up all the time, but like, what's the advantage for me? And so I'm always like, the app is gold. It's the most amazing thing ever, right?
The
It
app's- the app
is. It's
The
really
app is a
incredible.
huge time saver, regardless of if you're a vet or a newbie. For me, the reason why I built it before even track matching or anything else was I'm a remix connoisseur. I love remixes, and you remember you would find a song like let's say a DJ Snake song, and you know for a fact that DJ Snake's gonna have a ton of remixes out there. Well, you're probably opening up 5 or 6 different tabs, to try and find them on various pools, various streaming sites, and all that. This is just a one-stop shop. For me, the best way to describe it to the veterans, it's like the Google of record pools.
Right.
It's going to help you find every possible remix out there on the internet rather than have to go try and find it somewhere else. We're going to show you everywhere it exists, all the different variations. I joke that
the app has been updated now to where I could just type in that do DJ Snake song, and then it shows all of the record pools.
As long as it shows up in our playlists for now. But that's a great question. And if you want to be able to, I hope my developers listening to this, because this is a big dream that we have, is that if you
I'll call in personally, because that would be like the major sell for me. Is
it's a no-brainer. It
should be, because I do know that about it in the past, is it had to be in one of the playlists, which could be one extra step, right? We're just talking about wearing the same uniform because we want to get rid of those extra steps. Well, we're still doing extra steps here. So that extra step needs to be a wrap, so that I could just be like, hey, search done. Here we go.
Okay, Glenn, listen up, man. Anytime he types in 24K Magic, he wants to see all 24 versions of it. Right then and there.
I want to I need to see I need to see 8 billion versions of it.
Yeah, because way more than 24. But no, that's a great feature, and that's the beautiful thing about what we do is we sit back and think, okay, what is one thing we can do to make it a little less stressful? What's one more thing we can save time on? And that's how the updates come along. So,
yeah. And if I just get a tattoo, I get it free for life, right?
No, so we need to talk about the tattoo. We're gonna flip you upside down, because we just saw a post that said you're no longer allowing tattoos because people actually listened to you about this and started getting them
way too far. This is not a cult.
How many tattoos have you gotten?
Honestly, guys, I've lost track. I'm gonna have to do some.
Wow.
I would think at least 30 by now. People are literally getting tattoos. If you can see on the screen right now, this tattoo, I don't even remember how it even started. It was some guy who said, hey, if I do this, will you do this? And I said, yeah, of course. And then they caught wind. Wait, so you're saying that if you get a tattoo of this logo, you're going to give me a free lifetime subscription? And I'm like, sure, no problem. I'm thinking nobody else is going to do it. Motherfuckers are going out there and getting appointments, getting back tattoos. Some guy went to Japan and got like the official like dragon art wrap. I mean, it blows my mind to think that this logo that I designed on a beanbag, half broke during the pandemic, ended up people are walking around with this on their skin. It's nuts.
Wait. So we actually want to make an official announcement here, because since you're saying that there's 3 more tattoos?
We have 2 more tattoos left. 2 more people that got themselves. Yeah.
All right. 2 more tattoos. The second that ends, we're going to say, if you get a Drew and Fuse Show tattoo, we're taking over the mantle here. So if you get a Drew and Fuse Show tattoo, you can listen to the podcast for free for the rest of your life. You get a lifetime subscription to be able to listen to the podcast.
And I'll send you all my personal edits for the year.
Oh, now that's almost worth it.
Actually, we might double down that the Patreon that's brewing right now. The Patreon that's brewing might become free too. I mean, we got to see if this is a real thing. So
I might be your first customer, boys.
Well,
plenty of room. Plenty of room.
I want to see it on somebody's butt cheek with a full moon picture. That's how I imagine seeing the first one.
No. I got a better one. I want it to be in your crack, and it says, "I just signed your crack. Have a bitchin' summer."
You're making my lungs hurt from laughing.
Have a bitchin' summer. I just signed your crack. Daffs / Daffs. There you go.
Wow, the captain has
Booty
turned on the too
hole
much
troll.
information sign. Let's stop this train. Come on.
We're trying to take over the tattoo art.
It's all yours.
If you're
You can have
letting
it.
it go, we're taking it over.
It's clearly in great hands.
In fact, we would like to say that yes, we are a cult. If you like bad music, bad movies, anything terrible, that's our cult.
Oh man.
If you think Deion Sanders Must Be the Money is a top song, you're for us. All right. So we're going to talk a little travel tips here. And we got another awesomely produced Drew Pierce video. So here we go.
I wanna fly away.
Travel hacks.
So we like to talk a little bit of travel hacks. And like I said, it doesn't have to be, for flying on an airplane. If you got some of those, great. Or if you just have some great hacks for, driving to a 2-hour gig or something to help keep people better prepared. We'd love to hear it.
This has been a year for travel. Honestly, I used to be kind of a homebody. Back in Montana, there weren't a lot of excuses to go anywhere else because it was just, not a lot of business opportunities, to be honest. Living in Nashville, kind of the hub, got me to spread out to places like, for example, Atlantic City. I'm going to Atlantic City next week. We always meet up in Vegas. These DJ conventions are really taking a lot of my time and travel, and I'm getting it down. Honestly, I think that the best advice I would give is the night before you leave for a flight, download anything off of Netflix or Amazon Prime, just cache them. Because there have been so many times where I didn't get a movie in time. What am I going to do with my time? But I don't have any music. I got nothing offline that I can listen to. And I just, it's almost like a race sometimes because I'm cruising through the tarmac or, like praying to God that I can get at least an episode downloaded before we take off.
And
So
you get no
always
reception in the tarmac either. Whatever it is, like they just cut off the cell service. It's like nothing. No, but
So
even like a
frustrating.
podcast or whatever. I mean,
Right.
that's the first time I've ever heard that travel hack, and I think that's genius. So yeah,
It's
great
what
tip.
yeah, and I could really go bougie on you and say that I spoiled myself this year. And if you can do the same, if you've never tried any of the sky clubs, you're just not traveling. I bit the bullet. I spent $500 on the Delta Sky Club, and this is the best decision I've made, especially if I'm traveling this much. If you're a touring DJ, if you are tired of being shoulder to shoulder with people in a chair that doesn't have a charger next to your phone and you don't have any amenities, let alone food being so damn expensive in the airport, you make your money back if you go to a sky club where you walk in, they know you by name, they bring you into a nice environment that sometimes they have like these huge windows to where you can see the airplanes take off and you're enjoying amazing food. You're charging your phone. Some people are sleeping. There's some with showers even.
Yeah,
You could literally take a shower.
I've used the shower. I've actually used
Have you?
it. Oh, dude, I took it overnight, and I was like, oh, it's here. Fuck it, let's do it. And I took the shower, and it was like the most amazing thing ever. It was
I
awesome.
look forward to going to airports now
Yeah,
because of this.
I actually just wanted to
Go for it.
interject for 1 second. You paid
Yeah.
the $500,
Mhm.
so me and Fuse both got the credit card, and it's free included in the credit card.
And that's good for people
don't-
with good credit.
I don't think
There you go.
I don't think mine's included. I've got the Delta, the silver, so it's like the Delta silver card, which is the middle one of the three for specifically for flying. I don't think mine includes it because I've tried, but I think it's like if you want to use it one off, it's like $35. But
40.
you got to think even $35, like if you went and sat down at an airport and ate something and had like a drink, well, you're pretty much right
That's
there.
right.
So you might as well just go in there and eat and take advantage of kind of the space as well.
I think it comes as a no-brainer, but probably the best travel hack advice I ever received was from my coworker Dominic, who said, pick an airline and stick with it.
Yes,
Just stay
totally.
with it. and it will pay off within the year. And I realized that I was going for the cheapest one, but over time, if you just get married to a certain airline, the benefits will come.
Yeah,
Me
but
and
even
Drew are
that
both
cheapest,
Delta. Yeah.
yeah, Delta all day. But even that cheapest, like it's what, $30-$40 difference, right? You're
Yeah.
sometimes we get a little too married to like what it is. And that Delta, man, I've been very fortunate in that I've been able to get Diamond Delta, so it's constantly first class upgrades, and it's game changing. I mean, even just getting close to it is you're going to get Comfort Plus, which is also game changing.
I am
Even
enjoying
if you sign
traveling
up-
so much. Yeah.
If you sign up for a Delta credit card and you just get the base credit card, you get a free check. You get free checked bags. There's a couple other perks, which right there, it's like if you fly a Frontier and it's like, oh, it's $250, but it's then plus $40 each way for your luggage. So it's like you're kind of already in your Delta
Might as well
ticket.
spring for it. Yeah.
And waiting in line. You got to wait in line to check those dumb bags. Whereas Delta, like you get that Sky Priority, and you cut the line, drop off your bags, and move it along, and they're free.
The other hack that I learned from Drew is just throw the guy outside a $5, and he'll check your bag all the way through, and you don't even have to wait in those lines. You're just in on Delta.
Wait, which guy? Who?
Oh,
nobody knows this. This is crazy.
Fill me in. What?
They have the. It's basically out front. They're checking bags, and you just roll up and you slip. A 5 ski. Boom! It's done. You don't have to wait in the lines inside.
Okay. I always wondered what those guys were there for. All right.
Yep. They just work for tips out there. So most of the time when I roll up here in Cincy, there isn't a line. But like when I came home from Drew's and LAX, and it was like crazy. There was nobody in line for that guy outside. I just walked back outside, threw him a 5, and then walked through the gate to the security.
Brilliant.
It's the goal. We love the travel. Anything else for the travel? Because you drive too, or just
yeah. I mean, not as much as I should. Nashville keeps me pretty busy in the city, so I don't travel too much. I'm all about flying now. I'm really starting to get it down to a system. I got my packing down right. I can be ready to go at the airport in an hour or less. I'm loving the lifestyle. So. Yeah.
What about bag wise? Because this is something I'm doing, and me and Fuse are actually working with a company where we're going to be dropping a new bag. I travel a lot. I like to just use a duffel bag. I mean, it's a backpack, but it's a duffel bag. So I have my DJ bag, and then I have a duffel bag, and I just find that I can get on any airplane so fast. I know exactly what I'm going to bring. Are you doing like packing cubes, anything like that?
It's not meant for the DJ. It was actually meant for bodybuilders and meal preppers. But this is the one that I use. It's the 6-pack fitness. It's really wide, as you can see, and it does fit underneath, believe it or not. But my favorite part about that is that they've got these little.
Dude, wow.
Yeah, it's got the little meal prep boxes, cubes, and 3 of them, in fact. So
and they don't trip at all. That's all good to go through as long as there's no liquids.
Yeah, as long as you're not bringing anything that's sketch. But no, I take this through all the time, and that's considered my carry-on. So for my clothing, it's just something I carry with a roll along. Pack 4 or 5 days worth of clothing at most, and then just use the laundromat once I'm at the hotel if I need to. And again, just wearing the same clothing. It's super nice to just recycle and almost, to the point where I've got enough t-shirts, socks, underwear, and pants to fit that and never use it again. I can just roll out. It's ready to go. It's like a bug out bag and a travel bag at the same time. You've heard of bug out bags where like, oh shit, the world's coming to an end. Yeah. So that's kind of what my bag that I take through the airport is.
I have one of those because I'm a Boy Scout, and you can always be prepared.
He said I'm a Boy Scout.
Dude, you just never know. I honestly think the idea of the bug out bag is good because, like, here in the Midwest, unlike where you are, Drew, we get lots of storms and stuff, and power can be out sometimes for a couple days, so it's just good to kind of have some of those things.
My girlfriend and I bought one. We both bought one for each other for Christmas this year, and they're both like 5-day prep. Like the backpack's like this big, and you could survive anything for 5 days.
Was it like cans of tomato soup, or what else is in there?
And ropes and saws and flashlights and powdered
Basically,
food,
Saws?
everything you need.
Dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're ever in Boy Scouts, chances are you probably have a bug out bag. Drew, you don't
Well,
have a bug out bag.
No. Actually, little known fact: I was an Eagle Scout. I had 80 merit badges. Actually, maybe. more.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Whoa.
That's
What
a
year
little.
was this? 1935.
I got it when I was. Well, my dad was hardcore into it, so I got it when I was like 13 or 14, and so yeah, I got my Eagle Scout. I did all that stuff. I'm hardcore into it. I did what is it? I can't remember. Order the Arrow, all those things. I slept on the ground. I've done all that stuff. So
Dude, that's awesome.
I subscribe to it, but you get older and it is what it is. but I use a lot of the thinking of it, and I do travel very light, and I love traveling. I think it is something that people over time start to think like, hey, this is a process, this is a big deal. But once you do 3 or 4, it's like, oh, this is like driving.
Yeah.
It's almost easier to fly than it is to drive.
As long as you remember the steps.
Right.
For us, we do it so repetitiously. We're constantly on the road that it's like second nature. We start to learn these little nuances and tricks that otherwise, like, if my girlfriend were to be flying with me, she would have this checklist checked out 3 months ago, anxious and nervous about every step. Right. She always gets so mad at me because she says you never worry about traveling.
Yeah.
It would give her so much anxiety to see that I'm just like, whatever. Life goes on. We're just so free flowing with it.
My wife drops me off at the airport in the mornings, and she's like, have you packed yet? And I'm like, oh no, I'm gonna do it right now. And she's like, wait, it's 3 a.m. And I'm like, oh yeah, I'll just throw
exactly
some shit back real quick.
We got it down to a science now.
Yeah. I always think, like, most of the time wherever I'm traveling, like, if I forgot something, there's like a CVS or something around. It's like, I'm not traveling a lot of times to places where it's like there's nothing around.
That's
it's
true.
Very rare where you're going somewhere where there's something you can't, you forget hairspray or deodorant or whatever, and like,
what's that Adam Sandler stand-up comedy routine? Phone, wallet, keys.
Yeah.
Right before you leave the door, phone, wallet, keys. I mean, as long as I got that.
I added AirPods into the mix on that one. Phone, wallet, keys, AirPods.
Me too. I can't live without it. I don't even like holding my phone near my head without the AirPods. We got some tech talk. You want to hit them with tech talk?
Let's go.
Yeah.
Hey, yo, I need some new technology.
Whoa. Nice.
This is Drew singing. Didn't you know he has a great voice?
That's me singing.
I guess it would be full circle for me, technology. We've talked about how I try to make my life as simplistic as possible, from my collection of music to my wardrobe to the way I travel. It wasn't this easy early on. I had a hoarding problem years ago. Years and years and years ago. And it started off with a situation where I was out at a wedding one time back in the early 90s. I was sent out to a wedding that I thought I had everything I needed for. And it was one of those weddings that was out in the middle of nowhere, no Wi-Fi service, nothing. Once you're out there, you're stuck out there. And I thought I had everything I need. I brought my speakers. I brought my mixer, my vinyl records, everything at the time, everything I needed. I get out there, I'm a little bit late because I didn't estimate the right time, and I'm having to hustle to get everything all set up, and people are starting to get ready for the wedding, and the bride's checking in with me. Hey, Aaron, how you doing? Good to see you're here. You set up over here. I'm like, all right. All the while, I'm getting just barely in time, right? And then once I get everything put up, I realized that I left behind the most important cable of all. At the time, my my rig required the RCA to 1/8" jack. You know that one, like the red and white that goes into the headphone jack. That one that fucking I needed that cable. Right. Otherwise, I was not going to be able to perform. And a wave of panic went through me, and everyone's starting to show up. People are going to sign. They're getting ready for the ceremony, and I'm calling my friend who's like 50 miles away. I'm like, you got to get here as fast as you can. Get this cable for me. You've got to run. And he's making, and I'm stretching for time. I'm like, okay, hold on, make sure that everyone's in line for the entrance, and just trying to kill for time. And it ended to the point where like the bride walked up and said, we got to start now. And I finally had to admit to her, I said, I'm not able to play your music.
Yeah.
And we had to get by. I was literally like John Cusack from Say Anything, holding a boombox for the main entrance. Having her walk down the aisle to Here Comes the Bride, me playing it on boombox was the most humiliating thing that I ever experienced. After the ceremony took place, the guy showed up with the cable. I got the music ready to go. We're ready to push play just in time for toasts. And the bride walks up and does the first toast. And she takes the microphone. She says, I want to thank everyone for coming out. I'm so sorry that we started off late. And if you're ever going to hire a DJ, don't hire him.
Oh my God. She did not run you under the bus like that, dude.
So it was at that moment that the trauma kicked in for me. And if you ever watch like the hoarding episodes on TV, that one traumatic thing spirals into another. And it was at that point in my mind that I thought I needed to have a cable for every possible solution. I needed to have backups on backups. I needed to have every possible adapter known to man. And it started off with a small little box, like this box, 1/4-inch adapters, this and that. Then it ended up becoming the back of my truck filled with cables, more XLR cables than I know what I needed to do with, more, do I need that printer cable from the Commodore 64 computer? Yeah, I do. Do I need this mouse from a Windows 2000? Yeah, I do. I had to justify it. It got to the point where I had, you go to Home Depot and you see those big sheds that you can buy and bring back to the house and put it in the back lawn, fucking filled with cables, dogs. I mean, like just nothing but cables for days. And it got to the point where the girl I was seeing at the time said, you have a problem. You've got to stop. And so back to the technology, it was so bad that we had to literally cable by cable justify what needed to stay and what needed to go. She's like, do you need this? I'm like, you don't need this. And we'd throw it away. Like, we subscribed to the philosophy. If you haven't seen it, used it, touched it, played it with it, used it in a year, in 365 days, you get rid of it. Yeah. So I'm pleased to present what used to be a hoarding problem. Everything is now just in this box.
Wow.
Right. Everything I could ever need, like cables and adapters and backup plans or anything. It's all in this box. You want to see?
Yeah, sure. Show them.
Sure. Got the Crate Hackers. You got your you got to have this. You always have to have your sound card, right?
Right.
You always got to have your sound card for streaming. One of my personal favorites. I have 2 or 3 of these. This is the Mevo Start Cam. You ever use these?
I
haven't, but I've seen I've been targeted for them on Facebook.
This is perfect because it's a live streaming camera. You don't have to worry about OBS. You don't have to worry about Twitch settings or any of that bullshit. You just plug it in, and it goes into the back of your mixer. And you can live stream right there on Facebook, on Twitch immediately. And ironically, the adapter it needs a 1/4-inch to RCA. This one's
I have 2 to 3 of those in my bags at all time, just because I'm not paranoid as you.
And let's see. This is a 360 cam. This is a 360 cam that just you sit here and you can have the entire room is picking up around you. I forgot the model. I use this for live streaming from time to time. And overall, just a bunch of a manageable amount of cables that just get me through any scenario. But you have to consider this is kind of progress for me. Yeah. Because 20 years ago, it used to be like a real problem. And I think a lot of us, I talk to a lot of DJs who have the same fucking problem. And they're like, give me some advice. What do you do? How do you get rid of all this clutter in your life? They see me as the most hyper-organized person in the world. It started because of trauma and situations. And a lot of people have that same problem in this industry, which is what Crate Hackers is all about. We want to preach, get organized. And I'm practicing what I preach.
And both me and Fuse go on there regularly. Yeah, stay organized.
I was gonna say, how sad would Joe Bunn be right now if he saw how those cables were folded? In that
Don't grade me on that yet. I'm still getting better at it.
class?
Yeah.
I just watched that video last night. In fact, I've had a couple assistants recently, and some get it and some don't. And it's one of those things where I had one assistant didn't know how to wrap cables. I was like, dude, next time you come out, know how to wrap a cable. That's the only thing you need, right? Like it's
Well, okay. Tell me your way of doing it. What is the way that you wrap your cables? Because I may do it differently, and I'm not sure if I'm doing it right or wrong.
Joe just did a video, and I would say Joe's video is spot on with it, but the over under.
Under.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's hard to explain, but I think Joe's video did a good job of it. I took a music production class in City College, and we spent the first 2 classes learning how to wrap cables. And I laughed about it at the time, and she was the head tour manager for Oingo Boingo, and I mean the list goes on.
Wow.
And I was like, that to this day, it's been one of the best things I ever learned. I mean, it's so important.
You never thought you needed it until now. Yeah.
No, so important. This has been absolutely incredible. We're so grateful to have you on. We're big supporters of Crate Hackers. We're going to be doing a hackathon here August 30th. Can anybody join in? Is it anybody
let's make it public for the Drew and Fuse show, for DMS members, for you. I think we'll do this live and do it public, but I would like to plant the seed of, this is something Joe Bunn brought up. He asked you to join us because he was hoping that experts like yourself could explain the definitions of redrums, bootlegs, remixes. There's different like abbreviations, like rhythmic and urban. Maybe you can break down for us. Let's have you on and talk about that.
Yeah, we're going to talk about that. We'll break that down. We'll make it very, very well known and charted so that people can understand that very easily. Crate Hackers, make your links will go up on all of the socials. So just pay attention here. August 30th. Make sure you're staying tuned. August 30th, we're going to be doing that. It's 5 p.m. Pacific time, 8 p.m. East Coast.
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. We do it every other Tuesday in the Crate Hackers private group, bringing in guys like this all the time to hack music.
And what specifically are we, besides those definitions, we're going to be putting together a playlist of?
I would probably venture to guess that we would just use like the hottest remixes you would recommend from DMS for now.
Okay.
Maybe awesome. Build one of those crates that we've done before in the past where it's both on yours and mine.
Totally.
I'm down for that.
Yeah. All right. Well, there you have it. We'll be doing the hackathon on the 30th, talking top remixes and going over some DJ terminology that comes with edits and remixes and all that good stuff.
Yeah, we'd be experts for that for sure.
Once again, just want to say thank you for taking the time to be with us here today. We really appreciate it. And I think it'll be great for our listeners to kind of hear more about you and what you've done with your career and kind of how it brought you to Crate Hackers, and more about, what Crate Hackers does and how DJs can use it as a tool to, help themselves. So you can make it a tool, you can make it a lifestyle. Obviously I go pretty deep with it, but that's why we have so much fun with it. Is it's more than just playing music. It's just a community of people who love to get organized. But
it really is. It really is. I think the community, if I could just highlight it at all, the community that you built is absolutely incredible. The Facebook group is the most positive people I ever see.
We are not a cult.
The hackathons are good. Me and Drew and Fuse show are a cult, and we will definitely be taking over everything that you've done and becoming a cult. And as many tattoos as we can see, the better.
Love it. Thanks for having me, guys.
Yeah, no, appreciate it. Yeah.
What do you want to leave us with? What are links, socials, anything like that?
No, man, just happy hacking. That's it. Happy hacking.
Well, at least give them the website. Is it closed right now? Is it open?
Wide open anytime. CrateHackers.com. And
it's wide open now. It's not closed because
we'll take members. We opened it for a while. When it was under beta test, then that was when it was closed. But now it's wide open to the public and ready for members.
Awesome. And then your social media, personal, where they can find you.
Yeah, at DJ Aaron Traylor.
Once again, we just want to reiterate some of the things that we said at the beginning. I'm going to be out in California the 14th through the 19th. Drew's going to be playing at Bungalow that Wednesday. We're going to be doing in Huntington Beach, and we're going to be doing a DJ meetup, and we'll both be playing in San Diego that Thursday. Make sure you hit us on that YOLO line, leave us some voicemails. We love hearing from you guys. We love all the feedback. Also, make sure you're using that DMS code for 30% off your first month. The code is Drew and Fuse Show. Also, we got the photo booth supply company affiliate link down in the video description. And again, the non-sponsored by Liquid Death, so we love when you guys tag us in that. And we love all the tags with the challenge. We got the Conga line challenge still, which whoever thought when Drew and I said that we would be getting Conga lines a year later from people. Aaron, I don't know if you know the full thing, but the Conga line challenge was you have to not be playing the Conga line song, and then you have to not MC to start it. It just has to be a natural Conga line that happens at your event. So we've been getting tagged in these Conga line videos for now.
I've missed so many opportunities to send you videos. That's a thing down here. Yeah. And it's not the song. It's the,
whatever. It's something random always. Yeah.
There was also another challenge that was brought up after visiting you, was the Kokomo challenge. So if anybody's playing Kokomo, it is true. Anybody that's playing Kokomo, please tag us during your cocktail hour or any event that you're playing Kokomo.
Challenge accepted.
Totally.
I'll take you up on that. Nice work, everyone.
But that's going to wrap it up for today. Once again, thank you, Aaron. And until next time, we'll see you guys later. Peace.
Peace.